It's Against All Odds Sports Radio Show. We live. I'm Javon Bates, the Legacy.
Bruce B. Smooth Ballard.
Tank, a.k.a. DJ TK.
I'm Cortez. You know me.
All right. So we back. It's the first episode. And we got a lot to talk about. We got special guests today. We got Freddie Coleman. We got Johnny Stanton. And we got Camryn Justice. So we got a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, we're going to get into the topic. So we're going to talk about the Cavs real quick because we want to get that off. So the Cavs right now, 7-4 record. Jared Allen been balling. Rubio been balling. What y'all think about the Cavs? What you think about the Cavs, Cortez? I
think as long as they keep up the pace they at, they'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? They doing, considering some guys right now. Sexton just went down last night with a knee injury. Markkanen out right now. K Love out right now. They doing injury. So, that's promising. What I really is they defense. You know what I'm saying? Of all things, they playing D.
Yeah, they look solid on the defense.
For the first time in years.
Yeah, definitely for the first time in years. Who else I definitely like is Darius Garland too. You can tell the addition of Ricky Rubio been helping him a lot as far as from a point guard standpoint.
Right. He got them actually dishing the ball too, so they kind of learning from him also.
Can't forget about Evan Mobley, man. That boy's on fire. Also, might even win Rookie of the Year.
Man, I'm about to say that's Rookie of the Year right there.
Yep.
Off the top.
Yep.
What you think about that?
He had 23 in the last game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they didn't. So they didn't have. He didn't been in double figures in every game except I think 2.
The first one and another one.
Yeah. So Evan Mobley. That's my Rookie of the Year. I didn't think we was gonna get him, to be honest, because I already had him as the best guy in the draft.
Yeah.
Too early.
I couldn't believe it.
Too early.
Yeah, it's early, but we make early picks.
Yeah, and throwing them in early against some of the top teams in the West is showing that even this early he's starting to develop into the NBA really nicely.
Well, he's got that slight body, so he's gonna have a tough haul coming through the whole season. So hopefully he keeps it up, but it's still early. We gotta see. Really, this is football season, so most of these games don't even matter right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and they seem to be playing better without what's up with the mix they have this year. So we like to continue to see that. But I hear they're fun. I haven't seen them yet, but I know you said they were pretty entertaining, Javon.
Oh yeah, very entertaining. Just like the New York Knicks game, I think that was like one of the best games I watched probably this year with Rubio looking like Jordan out there.
Yeah. 37 points.
Hey, dude was knocking them threes down.
Man.
Yeah.
And Rubio's not even known for being a scorer.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's not.
They said his first 3-4 years he didn't break like 12 points a game, 13 points a game.
Yeah, when him and Kevin Love was out there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's more pure point guard.
Definitely.
And like I said, I feel like the signing of him was really to help out Darius Garland.
I think that's a good sign to teach Darius Garland how to be a NBA distributing guard, because that's what he's got to be.
Yeah, so
watching Sexton be a guard, that's not going to do it.
Nah.
Sexton would be a great 6-man.
Yeah, I'd like to see him off the bench too.
He'd be a great 6-man. That'd be another Lou Williams or something.
Yep.
You know, it seemed like he got that ego where he just want to start.
I mean, I'd keep him right where he is as a starter.
No, I agree. I keep him. I would keep him. I would keep him coming off the bench. I would let him come off the bench, like you said. Let him do his thing. But anyway, Ohio State. So Ohio State just won last Saturday. What do y'all think the Buckeyes will do? You think we're gonna make it to the playoffs, or you think we're gonna come up short?
Oh, they're going to the championship, or not? They're going to the playoffs this year. Just a matter of how they do in there.
If they can blow out Purdue, because Purdue is pesky, and they can blow out Purdue, that will show they're ready to go into Michigan State. That's man, they got to be Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan, man. That's a tough schedule.
Out of both of those teams, out of all three of those teams, Purdue is the only one that really worries me, because a couple times that we were ranked really high and we ended up playing Purdue, they always somehow, end up beating us, even if it's at home or in their stadium. They always end up beating us.
Well, they're basically one-dimensional with that receiver.
Yeah.
Shut him down.
And our defense was looking.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a beast for receiver.
They took out Iowa and They took out Iowa and Michigan State, and those two teams were looking like on fire until they played Purdue.
I didn't have them beating Iowa.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think anybody did.
I wasn't sure about Michigan State, but I ain't have them beating Iowa though. That was
Well, I saw the Michigan-Nebraska game, and Michigan had a problem with Nebraska's offense. Their defense was tough, but I think Ohio State can definitely handle Michigan.
Michigan also had a very, very big problem beating Rutgers, which was very odd because they were blowing teams out, and then they got to them, and they only beat them by like 5 points, I think. It was real close.
Real close. So do you think Ohio State's going to win this week, Cortez?
Yeah, I got Ohio State winning by 14.
What about you, Bruce?
I think this is at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Ohio State only winning at home because it's at home. But if it was in Purdue, I would say they were primed for upset. But I believe Ohio State can win this.
Yeah, I got them winning too. I got them winning by 13.
So I said by 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna say by 10. 10 points.
10 points. Not bad. Yep. It's all in the same ballpark.
I was about to say we all kind of in the same ballpark.
So speaking of before we get into the Browns, we're gonna talk about OBJ one last time. I know everybody got mixed feelings about OBJ's situation, and I felt like we could have balled with him. That's just my observation. And it seemed like it was just a lot of division on that, as far as we don't need him or we do need him. But everybody could give their take on it. How did you feel about the OBJ situation, Cortez?
Man, every time a Baker Mayfield fan get mad. But when I look at the film, man, the 6-yard bomb he threw to DPJ, OBJ could have got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
Sir, you look at that 66-yard bomb, and then you look at it against Minnesota when we was up 14-7, and he threw the ball at Odell's ankle. And it's like, come on, man, is that the same dude? Like, come
Right.
on, man. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
it
that
is
man.
suspect.
Is that the same dude? Or a 66-yard strike to DPJ. But every time you want to hit Odell Beckham on the deep ball, you underthrown him. Or it's out of bounds.
Overthrown or underthrown or throw behind them.
Yeah, like, that's phony
All
to
right,
me.
y'all.
And I was like, watch Baker come out and sling the ball around because Odell not out there.
Yep.
It's gonna upset me.
All right, so hold that thought, y'all. I got Freddie Coleman about to join us.
What's up, gentlemen?
All right, Freddie.
Hey, what's going on, Freddie?
I'm good. How's everybody, man?
Good.
We're good.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Real.
Yeah, we were just talking about the OBJ situation here with the Browns and how it all ended.
Oh, believe me, I heard the rant. I heard the rant, and I clearly understand because a lot of people, you look at Odell Beckham Jr., and I think one of the things that people should be guilty of, and I understand that we've seen what he's been able to do in the past. We're wondering why it did not work out with Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. And Odell Beckham Jr. is a volume kind of guy that if he's not getting the ball early, then he believes that he's not going to be involved in the game plan. And that's really going to be hard to do. It was going to be hard to do with the Cleveland Browns because they're going to be a run-first football team, and they believe in spreading the football around. Now, anybody can say, and pretty truthfully, that you can say, well, you got a guy like that, he needs to get the ball more than anybody else. And you can make a case on that, but also still wonder how healthy Odell Beckham Jr. is, because even when he was open, it seemed like it wasn't the explosive open that we were used to seeing from him. And I wonder how much of that could have been the offense, could have been the injury, a combination of both. We'll never know. But it was not going to end well. We saw how it did not end well with Odell Beckham Jr. Cleveland. Now you get a chance to go somewhere else, whether it's Seattle over here, maybe the Rams, maybe somebody else, where you can be that volume guy. And you're going to have an offense that's going to be more tailored to what you do instead of a Cleveland Browns offense, that their best success is when they're running the football with Nick Chubb in that offensive line.
Oh, yeah. And we just secured one of our offensive linemen this year for 4 years, $56 million. Can keep that line intact. But yeah, I was saying we were thinking that he might end up with Green Bay. There was like a couple of rumors out with Devontae Adams reaching out to him. Now he cleared waivers, I believe, today, so he can sign wherever he wants to now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they don't have to pay that freight that's $7.5 billion.
Say that again, Freddie.
Doesn't have the salary cap. They're ranked 16th in the salary cap, so
Yeah, exactly. That's why by him clearing waivers, it depends on what kind of deal Odell Beckham Jr. because he even said he wants to go to a contender. If you want to go to a contender this late in the season, you got to realize that salary cap space is not going to be there if you want that team to fulfill your wish of playing for a contender. So that's when things can get a little murky between what he wants and what may wind up happening, whatever team decides to take a chance on Odell Beckham Jr.
Now, do you think he'll, since he said he wants to go to a contender and it is almost halfway through the season, do you think he'll take just a 1-year deal with less money?
Well, if you're Odell Beckham Jr., you better take a 1-year deal for less money, and then you go out there and you ball out, because no team is going to give you any kind of multi-year deal. I wouldn't do that either. I don't care how much belief I have that Odell Beckham Jr. might be able to return what we were able to see from him in his first 2 to 3 years in the National Football League. So from a financial standpoint, that's irresponsible to give that kind of multi-year deal, and then you're hamstrung by that. Then it really taxes your salary cap, even though we all know the salary cap is going to go up next year. Now the NFL has to get back to some kind of normalcy post-pandemic. What we saw happen to them this year, the salary cap, that's not going to be the case next year. But if you're a franchise, you believe in Odell Beckham Jr., you say, hey, dude, here's a 1-year deal. Go out there and prove us wrong. If you prove us wrong, you're going to get paid. If you don't prove us wrong, now we're not hamstringing our salary cap and really not fortifying our team from a physical, financial, also team standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you, Freddie. I think we'll never really know how healthy Odell is, but I think on another team we'll finally get to see how healthy he really is. And I think he's not healthy. I think he will not be able to finish the whole season. But we saw last week with Landry, he got some run plays that could have gone to Odell.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah, I don't disagree with that, but to kind of trampoline off your point, that team looked a lot happier without Odell Beckham Jr. Whether it was whatever was going on in the locker room or the black cloud hanging over them involving the disconnect between Odell and the quarterback, Odell and the organization. At least Odell Beckham seemed to make an one mixtape about it on Sunday with this everybody getting the ball, his son not getting the football. So at least we didn't have to worry about that on Monday from the Beckham family. But your point is valid, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that everybody just felt there was a sense of relief from the standpoint that Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't there, that distraction was not there. And we'll never know exactly if Odell Beckham Jr. played on Sunday, if those kind of plays would have been there for him to try to be completed by the Cleveland football team.
Yeah, and not only that, this happened before. Last year when
between the Odell and Baker camp.
Yeah, last year, remember he got injured, and then the same thing happened. The very next game, everything looked like it came together and started taking off.
Yeah, and I don't want to put all the blame on Odell Beckham Jr. because to me, there are plenty of people that can be to blame for this situation not working. We can put that blame on Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker Mayfield did reach out to him and try to have that one-on-one and everything. But if you got a guy like that is a volume wide receiver, I would try to get him the ball a little early in the game because then he's more engaged. He doesn't get the ball early, then he's going to disengage himself. I think the Cleveland organization, by trying to placate Odell Beckham Jr., you kind of put 52 other guys at the risk standpoint saying, okay, we know we need him to win, but we got other dudes in this football team that can play. We got to make sure everybody, we know superstars can be treated differently than run-of-the-mill guys, but you can't do that to a football team where it's not working out and everybody else has to feel they have to carry their freight to make up whatever disconnect is going on there and what happened between Odell Beckham Jr., his quarterback, and also that football team.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
Here's what this situation reminded me of. It reminded me of a home where the housewife is not happy. No happy home, no happy housewife, no happy home. So when you have an unhappy quarterback like Baker Mayfield, that's making the whole franchise unhappy. And I think the Cleveland Browns were just relieved that they could have a peace of mind. And I think those who were for Odell didn't want him to see, of course, see him leave. And then they just wanted to be able to play, have a peace of mind and play football with a peace of mind.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. Here's something else. If Odell Beckham Jr. was there with the Cleveland Browns where Baker Mayfield got there, we're having a different conversation because let's say they had drafted Odell Beckham Jr., the Cleveland Browns, in the first round. Then they bring in Baker Mayfield. Organizations said, look, we invest a lot in this guy. You guys better be able to make that work. Cleveland swung a trade for Odell Beckham Jr. because for whatever reason, the New York Giants decided that he was not worthy of that team. And things have gone really well for the New York Giants ever since they traded Odell Beckham Jr. So that's another story for another day. But if Odell Beckham Jr., let's say, was Larry Fitzgerald with that organization before another quarterback got there, then the kind of protocol would have been set in place saying, hey, we believe in that guy. We believe in you. You two better go out there and make it work. When you draft Baker Mayfield number one, that is the organizational guy. That is your franchise player. Because if he's not going well, it's going to set back your organization when you got the quarterback number one or even in the first round. So by bringing Odell Beckham Jr. there, they were basically saying that, hey, Baker's here. You got to make this work. And when Odell figured that it was not going to work, that everybody else was going to have to deal with that, that's where you start to see those kind of cracks in whatever armor was supposed to be there involving both of these two trying to make it work.
So let's talk about Chubb and Felton testing positive for COVID-19 today. And I know that's going to impact the game. Do you think the Patriots are going to stop Dearness Johnson, or you think Dearness is going to pretty much continue what he started from the last game he played?
I'm a big believer, gentlemen, that when you have a talented offensive line, if you have a quality running back or even an average running back, he's going to get numbers because we have seen that from this Cleveland Browns offensive line. Now, I will say this, that Patriots run defense, they got some broads up front that are not going to be having that. Their front seven is very underrated, stopping the run, and also they're able to run the football to protect Mac Jones. So we know what Cleveland is going to do. Just because Nick Chubb is not going to be that there, that does not take away their game plan. They're going to be run first, play action, try to take advantage of one-on-one coverage, whether it's on the tight ends with the safeties and linebackers or one-on-one on the outside with the wide receivers. So they're not going to go away from what they're going to do. Of course, you're not expecting Nick Chubb production from the backup to the backup, but that doesn't mean that this guy's a slouch, which means that we've seen him rush for 100 yards behind this offensive line when he got his chance. So the game plan is not going to change, even though you don't have one of the best running backs in football behind, in my opinion, the best offensive line in football. when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. That's going to stay the same. Now, what the Patriots can do about it is going to be very interesting because their run defense has been pretty stout this year in the National Football League.
Now, is it true that they haven't fully ruled Nick Chubb out for this game, or did they go ahead and rule him out completely?
Well, when you mess with COVID-19 at a certain point, you're going to be ruled out. If we're hearing that early on involving that, he's going to have back-to-back negative tests for him to be able to play when Sunday rolls around against the Patriots. So we have to wait and see on that one. But anytime somebody puts out information like that, pretty much they know that player is going to be sidelined for 10 days, put in quarantine and being away from everybody at the facility. And then you still have to pass those tests in 10 days to make sure you can play the week after this one. Because you look at the Browns' schedule, guys, they got a lot of murderers row on their schedule. They only have one team, their final part of their season, that does not have a winning record or at 500 record, and that's the Detroit Lions. Everybody else, they got the Ravens twice, they got the Bengals again, they got the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got the Patriots this weekend. They got a lot of teams on that schedule going to be in the same position as the Cleveland Browns, either fighting for a playoff spot or fighting for a division. And for my money, when you play in the best division of football this year, the AFC North, every game is very precious, and everybody that you're going to need is going to be very precious. When you're looking at Pittsburgh, you're looking at Cincinnati, looking at Baltimore in your own division, where somebody's going to be the odd team out. And if you're the Cleveland Browns, we came into this season a lot of promise, a lot of expectations. That's the last thing that you're going to have to deal with, and that schedule is not going to be very forgiving the rest of the season outside of the Detroit Lions in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Now, Freddie,
I agree.
Javon and I, we noticed that when the Browns throw the ball around 25 times and run the ball maybe around 30 times, Baker Mayfield pretty much leads us to a victory. Do you see in this game, without Nick Chubb throwing the ball over 25 times or throwing a little more than normal?
Well, here's the deal. That's a great question, because what have we seen from Bill Belichick, guys, since he's been in the NFL? He is determined to make you play left-handed. Now, it's hard to do that against the Browns because they got guys that can make plays on the outside. I think a lot of times the Cleveland Browns team, they're so good with that when they're able to get those chunk plays in the running game, then all of a sudden you really got to worry about that because you can't stop the run in the National Football League. That's going to be a long 3.5 hours dealing with the Cleveland Browns, the way they can run football. But they also have the big plays happening off their running game. It's going to be very tough to make that team play left-handed, especially to your point. Even if Baker Mayfield throws 30 times on Sunday, it could be a very effective 30 times because they have that kind of one-on-one matchups that they can take advantage of on the outside. So if the Cleveland Browns, they know the Patriots are going to do everything to stop the run. But that doesn't mean that you're going to stop this football team, because even the Bengals are able to blow up a little bit early on. They made plays down the field to get the 60-yard touchdown pass to the wide receiver. You also, the defensive side, making plays. Denzel Ward winning 99 yards for a touchdown. They have playmakers all over the field. It's really, really hard that if they play like a confident team, guys, like we saw on Sunday, it's very hard to make that team play with one hand behind their back because they have so many different ways that they can beat you on the offensive side of the football.
Well,
Cool. Final question for you, Freddie. What do you see prediction wise for Cleveland? Do you see us as a playoff team or just barely, just missing it by a little bit?
I still think the Cleveland Browns are a playoff team, and I know that everything has really kind of been jumbled a lot, but I think by the fact that it can be kind of free and clear and just go out there and just play football, where they don't have to ask questions about what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that, what's wrong with the other. Now, they got to find some consistency. It can't just be start and stop, start and stop. We've seen them win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. They got to start stringing victories together because they got to find a way to win those kind of tough games. Because look at the Baltimore Ravens, for example. They were down 24-10 to the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of people believe in the Vikings going to win that game. But then Lamar Jackson got involved, and the defense made some plays. Now, they've been able to stack wins 2 and 3 together before they have a loss. That's what I want to see from Cleveland. Now, I know they got that tough schedule, but man for man, this team is as talented as anybody in the National Football League. They're not going to be overwhelmed by their schedule, but can they stack consistency in a game? Then stack consistency week by week and stack those wins. I want to see what's going to happen with the Cleveland Browns. If they lose another game, then this could be the team on the outside looking in, because they're going to be starting, winning a game, and then taking a step back by not beating the Patriots if that happens this Sunday.
Well, we thank you for joining us today's show. Appreciate that.
Dude,
My pleasure, guys. Anytime, man. Let's do it again soon, okay?
Oh, definitely. I'll hit you up.
Have your show.
Please do. Absolutely, man. I had a great time chopping up with you guys.
Have a good show tonight.
I certainly will. We'll be under the basketball game, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Little Kansas, Michigan State on one side, little Kentucky and Duke on the other side. So I can't wait to go check that out.
Man.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Freddie.
Peace.
All right. So I got a great question for Cortez. You there, Cortez?
We lost Cortez. I don't see him. He's still
here.
there. Okay.
Okay, there you
There
go.
he is.
I can hear him. Oh, there you go.
I know you played defense. I know you played defense. Okay, I know you played defense, and I noticed the Browns defense played man-to-man instead of the zone where we were getting burnt up. And do you think we will stay man-to-man from here on out, or you think Joe Woods will go back to the zone where we were getting thrashed and cashed with?
We got the corners to go, man. That's why I did. We got a lot of our corners are man corners. The only corner I would say that we got that is not a man corner is Greedy Williams. He's more of the only true zone corner we have. So when we went man to man, it looked natural because we got talented enough corners to go man to man. Newsome and Denzel Ward can go man to man. So I didn't really understand why we was playing such soft coverage to start the season off anyway. We got the athletes in the defensive back man to man almost all game like we did Sunday.
Yep. All right, we got Johnny Stanton about to join us.
Awesome. Hey, what's up,
How you guys
Johnny?
doing? Good to see you guys.
Good. Glad the link finally worked this time.
Yeah, me too.
Now, people don't know much. Now, people hear Johnny Stanton, they don't know that you're not just a fullback, that you played pretty much all the offensive positions except maybe offensive line?
Yeah, pretty close. I played a little bit of defense in college at linebacker. Tried out for the Vikings when I was coming out of college at tight end and before they switched me to fullback. And obviously I played quarterback throughout my whole college career.
Awesome. Now, have you done any trick quarterback plays with the Browns at all?
I can't talk
just
about
messing around in practice.
You can't tell us that, huh?
No.
Okay.
So, Johnny, how did
are you going to be activated for this week's game, aren't you?
I don't know yet. I haven't been told one way or another yet. But always staying ready.
Right now, we only see one back activated. That's the Ernest. So,
yeah. As far as I know, that the other guys can be activated. Can as long as they get some negative tests, they'll be good to go. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, hoping that everybody's healthy for the game.
Yeah. What is it? They got to string together two negatives, right?
Yeah, that's I think the rule.
Yeah.
So Johnny, how did you feel about the Browns offense, y'all offense this week?
I was excited. Obviously I'm back on practice squad now, so I wasn't able to be down there on the sidelines with the team. But it was fun to see everything working in full gear. The defense looked awesome. It really came together. The offense was obviously coming together, and Nick had a hell of a game. So it was really fun to be able to watch.
Sounds good. So how did you feel about the OBJ situation personally from your standpoint?
I don't know if I'm going to talk too much about that. That's, definitely an inner, within the team kind of situation. I'm glad that we're doing all right without him, and that Odell is going to be doing great with whatever team he signs with. He's a great teammate. I've only had good interactions with him. He's a good guy. And, I hope him the best for whatever team he's with.
Sounds cool.
Now, oh shoot. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm back. Now when you got your first touchdown, man, how did that feel?
It was pretty special. One of the first things I thought after, celebrating with the whole team was that my family and my girlfriend were all there. And it was, they don't get to come to every game. Obviously, they try to make the ones, especially the ones that I'm playing in. But it was very special to be able to have them there. It was pretty dang cool to be able to go, flex out in front of the dog pound and spike the ball right there in the end zone.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was a special feeling. Honestly, I hope I get more of an opportunity to get other guys in there. I want to be able to get those fullback assists for Nick and Kareem and Dearness. But man, if I get the chance to be able to score, I'm not going to complain about that.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I was so happy to see that, man. I was like, oh man, Johnny just scored a touchdown.
I appreciate it.
How did you feel about?
I was excited for you too. I loved watching you during the preseason.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
glad that you made the team.
I'm glad the preseason went well. I think it set myself up well for the season.
Well, hopefully, we'll see you Sunday.
How did you feel about the Teller extension?
Oh, I'm extremely excited for Wyatt. He's worked so hard. It's a lot of the fans don't really see the personality that Wyatt has, and he's a great guy. He'll talk your ear off, but he always has something good to say to you. He always has a smile on his face. But man, that's one of the hardest working guys on the team, and I'm really happy that that we're going to be able to be teammates for several years now, and I'm excited to see what he does and continues to progress with that time that he gets.
That was funny because I was at work and we were talking with our fantasy football little group and everything, and I said, man, we really need to extend our offensive linemen. We got J.C. Treader and Wyatt Teller coming up. And then I get off work about 20 minutes later and find out he gets the extension. And I go back and run inside and tell everybody it happened.
Yeah, it came as a surprise to me, but it was definitely a good surprise.
Yeah. I said, if you guys can get it, if they can get it done early, get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that?
What would you say your greatest skill set that you add to the Browns are?
I'd say my greatest skill set is my versatility, being able to pick up different positions and different roles within the offense and special teams. The team asked me to do a number of different things, especially this preseason and in the games that I was able to play in. The team asked me to prepare in a lot of different ways, and it's something that I feel like I've developed a skill at being able to learn these different positions and try to do my best at filling in as best I can, and trying to keep the offense with keep his momentum while guys might be out. I feel like I fit in well, and I do my best to be able to make sure that the switch is seamless.
Sounds good.
I got another question for you, Johnny. So when you came out of college, out of UNLV, what was your aspirations as a pro player?
Oh man, after my senior season, I didn't think that I was playing pro ball. If I'm being completely honest, I thought my last game at UNLV was going to be my last game playing football, in a major way. I got the opportunity to try out for a CFL team, and since I had that tryout, I knew I was going to prepare, and I thought, might as well prepare for whatever I can. So that CFL tryout was at quarterback, but I knew that if I was going to be in front of scouts for the NFL level, I was going to have to learn blocking. I was going to have to learn how to run routes. So that's what I focused on. But I still had no real aspirations to go to the NFL. Not that the aspirations weren't there. Not that I didn't have the overall goal to be able to make it to the NFL. I just didn't think that it was possible with the college career that I had, and with switching positions and everything. So to be able to make it to the amount of where I am now, I'm extremely blessed and grateful.
Awesome. I got one question. I know you'll probably end up more likely, choosing someone on your own team, but as of looking at the NFL as a whole, who do you think is in the running for the MVP this year?
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah. Name anybody on our
that
offense. I know Wyatt Teller was part of the top 5 last year in that MVP running. So I'll say
He was.
whole Browns offense.
Yep, I say that every year.
Yeah,
Anybody
absolutely.
that plays for my team.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Now I saw a. I know this is not Browns related, but I did see a photo. I think yesterday or a couple of days ago. You're a D&D fan.
Yeah, I was able to introduce that to some of the guys on the team to play Dungeons and Dragons on some of our off nights. So we got this year we got Miles and we got Wyatt in that group, and last year we had Kendall Lamb before he got moved on to the Titans. So yeah, it's a great group that we got going on, and actually finally got to kind of reveal to.
So you guys play for 2, 3, 4 hours?
Yeah, that's the goal. It's my job to make sure that it goes smoothly, and if I messed up if we only go for like an hour.
Oh wow! Yeah, I played it when I was living in Hawaii. Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time playing it. I miss playing it.
It's great. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you.
You can play that all night.
Heck yeah.
Go ahead, Javon.
Well, thank you for joining our show, and we appreciate you. And we love the Browns, and we take everything
Definitely
that you do to heart every Sunday, because we know it's hard work and it's not easy being a football player out there.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on the show.
Oh, definitely, and hope we'll have you on there again.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Good luck Sunday.
Bye.
Thank you.
Go Browns!
Good luck. Huh?
All right.
Dungeons
So
and
last week, we all gave our predictions for the Cincinnati and Cleveland game. Cortez said 28-1 Browns. I said 27-20 Browns. Bruce said 28-24 Browns. And Tank said 31-18. So it looks like
he was about right. Tank was close, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that game you can almost predict we're going to win it all the time. Baker's only lost one game to Cincinnati, and that was really kind of close itself for real. We shouldn't have lost that one, but
yeah.
Yeah, they say
I mean, they could have gone a lot of ways because there was some holding on the D-backs they didn't call, but Browns finally got some calls that they've been losing, so that was good.
yeah, still didn't like that they missed that helmet to helmet on DPJ, who then got taken out of the game for a possible concussion anyway.
Yeah.
So
back to the Browns defense. What do y'all rate the Browns defense this last Sunday besides the 3 offsides? I don't know why we got 3 straight offsides in a row. But besides that, what do y'all rate? Yeah. What do y'all rate the defense this past week? Cortez?
I give them a strong 9. They would have got it, but they struggled stopping the run for a second. But other than that, they balled. I mean, that's kind of how we need them to play. And they got the personnel to play like that almost every week.
Yeah, and I can't wait till we get JOK back.
Say it again.
I can't wait till we get JOK back.
Oh yeah, he just activated off IR.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I give them a B because they shut down a prolific offense, but those penalties, they have to do better with those offsides. And if you shut them down to 3 points, then I give them an A. But Joe Woods has a good defense, and they played well all year. It's just been that struggling offense, so I definitely give them a B. But they're going to need to come up with another defensive performance against this Patriot team, because there's not going to be a lot of passes thrown. It's going to be a war in the trenches.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a war
Yep.
because Belichick
Damian Harris.
They love to take away your best asset, so that's what Belichick good at.
Yeah, he's going to put 8 in the box. He's going to force Baker to throw the rock. And then he's going to run the ball because Mac Jones is still a young quarterback. He doesn't read defenses too well. He doesn't have a lot of receivers. He's mainly got tight ends. And he's going to play a safe game for Mac Jones, short little passes, and run the ball.
Same way he did Tom Brady when Tom Brady was a rookie.
Yep. Same exact way.
He's going to be a game. Mac Jones going to game manage, but we can get to him. Then we'll have to open it up, and that'll allow us. But from what I saw, the refs allow a lot of holding on Garrett. A lot of holding.
They do.
And
on Clowney also.
A lot of holding on this game. Well, I didn't notice Clowney, but Garrett, they almost hold Garrett on every play. I mean, they did a lot of tackling on the Browns players holding that they did not call. Even though the Browns just beat up that Cincinnati line, there was still a lot of times they could have called a lot of holding on Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, I got a question for y'all real quick. So, do y'all think Baker will get a contract by the end of the season, or you think they gonna hold off?
I think they'll hold off. The White Teller signing, I think, is a perfect example. They're gonna hold off because look what they're doing. They're building their pieces around him. You got Chubb, you got White Teller, and if you got a line, you keep this line intact with the running games you have and the pieces around it, you can put anybody at quarterback. And I think regardless of, they know the OBJ situation. They know he should have been able to play with OBJ. But, the NFL has built Baker Mayfield as a brand. He's got national commercials, and he's worth money.
What you think, Cortez?
I think they're going to hold off because he's under contract for another year. So they could sign him. If they felt that serious about it, they could sign him during the middle of the season year. But I don't see them signing them. I don't see them re-signing them at the end of the year.
I mean, don't you think they would have signed him first before White Teller?
Yep, and I felt this way too. The Kansas City Chiefs game, I think if they would have won that game, I think they would have did it probably then and there, possibly.
For sure.
But he didn't come through, so I feel like you said, they're not going to do it. Well, how do you feel about that, Tank?
I think they'll just wait till the off season. See how the rest of the season plays out, and if it looks ugly, then you'll have to wait until next season and probably do it in the off season of next year.
So my next question.
But like I said, like Cortez was saying, that he does have another full season to go here.
Yeah, we still own him, so we don't have to sign him for anything.
Yeah, and they can franchise tag him if they want.
I mean, I think there are a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who can do what he does behind this offense. Plenty.
I agree. So do we do what I guess the Cardinals did when they said they drafted the wrong guy and they just went ahead and got Kyler Murray like the next year? Do we do a ballsy move like that, or do we just stay with Baker and pray and cross our fingers that he turns into something that he's not currently right now? I'm not saying that he's not a great, not a good, quarterback, but he hasn't shown that he's a great quarterback yet. So do you think we pull the trigger on something else, or you think we're going to go ahead and just, keep Baker as our QB?
Go ahead, Cortez. He knows my answer pretty much. Go ahead, Cortez.
I think they're going to ride with Baker, to be honest. And it's not even because I want him to. It's at this point, he done been in the offense for so long. They're trying to groom him into the offense. So I don't see them giving up on them at this point. And he playoffs and won a playoff game. I don't see them really giving up on them. And as far as like Arizona doing that with Kyler Murray, like only reason they did that is because Josh Rosen was that bad. Baker Mayfield was not to where you got to scrap him and draft another guy. Like they can probably look at him and say, well, we can work with this guy. Like Josh Rosen was just a bad quarterback in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he's not even anywhere right now, is he?
He's a backup. So. He's deep down.
I thought
on the bench.
somebody signed him, Tank.
Yeah. So listen, we got Camryn Justice. She's about to join the show.
Hey, Camryn.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. How is everyone?
Good.
Hello, Camryn.
Busy week.
So we were just talking about how we felt or our opinions on Baker Mayfield getting a new contract next season. Do you think he will get a contract with the Browns next season, or you think they're going to just ride this thing out?
No, I think that, this season will be indicative of kind of how that plays out. I think that they see him as the franchise quarterback, and what they do from here really depends on how he plays for the remainder of the season and kind of how these other contracts worked out. I always thought when they didn't extend Baker before the season started, I always thought that Wyatt Teller was the first one that should be addressed because the offensive line is just so important, right? It's important to Baker Mayfield. It's important to the run game with Nick Chubb. You need that. And Wyatt Teller's kind of that staple. And so I always thought that he was either going to get it or should be addressed first. Now they have him out of the way, and now you can figure out what you're going to do. You still have Denzel Ward as an option and Baker Mayfield. And the fact of the matter is it's not that Baker Mayfield is in question of being the franchise quarterback. I think it's more about what the value is and what makes sense for the team and what makes sense for Baker Mayfield. And so I think that's what's going to play into it. And we'll see that maybe that happens at the end of the season where he plays well again down the stretch like he did last season. If the Browns pull this back together and they make the playoffs again, maybe that's more in favor of Baker Mayfield getting a little bit bigger contract, which he thinks he deserves and is really working towards. If it's not so great, if it's just okay, maybe it's a more team-friendly deal and they can evaluate it that way. But I do think that he is what the Browns are looking to move forward with. It's just what they are going to pay him, how long the contract is going to be, and how they're both going to come together and be happy with the deal from the standpoint of Baker Mayfield and from the standpoint of the Cleveland Browns organization.
Yeah. Now, what I'm hoping is he ends up doing what Nick Chubb did and took a little less than what he could possibly have gotten just to keep this team together, because they seem like a team that they love being around each other. They seem like they're really building a true brothership and everything with each other, and they love playing together. It just seems like that type of like with the Cavaliers when we won the championship. They seemed like they were always going everywhere together. You would see them at Indians games, Browns games, down at Ohio State and everything like that. It kind of gives that. I kind of get that feeling with this Browns team too.
That's exactly what they are. They for this entire off season from the end of last season through the off season to the start of this season, these guys have grown super tight knit, which is why the Odell situation I think got blown out of context a little bit, and because that was a big blow up on Odell's end. But at the end of the day, leading up to that point, the question was why the chemistry wasn't there on the field was so in question because the chemistry was there off the field. They were hanging out, and that shows you if that kind of relationship is that prominent and it's still like that, it just couldn't be fixed. But if that's what it is going on, even in those circles where it's maybe not as tight and they're still hanging out, you have to see the other guys where it is tighter knit and it is true friends. These guys are literally hanging out every day. Some of them are neighbors. They watch movies together. They go out.
Yeah.
Like this has been a thing. And so I think for the most part, it works out well for creating chemistry on the field. Sometimes it doesn't. But they're putting a concerted effort into making it happen.
Dungeons and Dragons.
And Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
we just talked to Johnny Stanton. He was just on with us, and he introduced Wyatt Teller and Myles Garrett to Dungeons and Dragons yesterday.
Of course he did. I did a Next Man Up with him, and we talked about Dungeons and Dragons, and he told me he does all these voices, and he wouldn't do it in front of the camera, and he doesn't do it on the field. But now, I mean, if he's introducing his teammates to it, now he's got to do voices.
Yeah, you're down there on the sidelines with them all the time, so like you even see camaraderie and chemistry they've built together. Like on July, I believe it was this July 4th, they were on a boat together. I think it was like Baker Mayfield, Odell, Jarvis. They like even like in the off season they go train together on the side.
Yeah, they were down in Austin. They were in Florida. They traveled together. They do golf outings together. They go fishing and swimming together. I mean, these guys have been hanging out. It's not just on-field stuff. I mean, these guys are really close friends. And the offensive lineman group has been like super close for years. But even with the new guys, they've incorporated them. They do their dinners now that like the COVID restrictions are a little looser, where they can, leave and have dinner at each other's houses because they're in the same.
Oh yeah.
Now they get to like see each other and hang out, and they'll do dinners, together. They hang out regularly, and it is a brotherhood. They're playing for each other, and that's what they said, and that's what it looked like when they got that win. And because they're playing for each other, and that's what that brotherhood that's when you see the chemistry really work. And really translate to on field. Now you can't account for things not working schematically and things not working as a fit between one or the other. But these guys now that are on this roster today fit. They know what they're supposed to do. They know their job. They know what the goal is and how they fit in with making that goal happen. And I think a lot of everyone who's on the roster now is bought into where they're supposed to be. And what their roles are in this, and whether it's a big role or a small role. I think a majority of the guys they don't care what the role is. They just want to be able to do whatever they need to do to provide the Browns whatever role it is that will get them a win each week and get them back into the playoffs, and then make that push for the Super Bowl, because that's what their eyes are on. They got the taste of the playoffs last year. They got a taste of a playoff win last year. That's not enough. They want more. Not the best start to a season. I think it's better than they are right now, obviously. But now you can only take it 1 week at a time. And so from here on out, they have to keep rolling with what they did on Sunday. And it seems like they have the mentality and the attitude to want to do that.
All right. So last question: Cleveland Browns versus the New England Patriots. What are your predictions and your final score?
See, it changed now. That kind of threw a wrench in it with Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton being out of the mix. I don't really know how this one's going to go. I did think it was going to be kind of establishing the run. And then Dearness Johnson obviously showed that he can be great and explosive. The only problem is now that other teams now know that Dearness Johnson can be great and explosive, so you can kind of prepare for that, and you don't have the threat that you did with the depth. Like Nick Chubb is generational. And Dearness Johnson was great and ran hard, and that was a great game. I just think Nick Chubb is a different kind of running back, so you can't prepare for a Nick Chubb. What the Patriots can do now is they can try to prepare for Dearness Johnson. And right now he's the only running back they have. They signed Brian Hill to the practice squad, so he'll get in there, but they're really thin in the running game. You've got Johnny at fullback, get him in the mix a little bit, and Jarvis has rushed, and he's shown that he can do things like that. But I think it changes kind of where I'm at with how this game goes. I thought it was going to be a run heavy game, mix in some passes, but not too much. I think now it's It's going to be a lot of tight end usage, probably. Maybe some deep balls. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's reliable. He's Mr. Reliable now. So the way that I see this game going now is probably they'll try to keep it on the ground some, and it depends on the weather situation too. But it'll be a lot of tight end usage, probably like we saw split between the run game, just a little heavier this time. Maybe some deep balls. And Mac Jones, I don't know if he should even be playing after what he did. But he's
be playing.
Yeah, that probably should have been a suspension, but it looks like just a fine, no suspension. So I mean, you're going against him. I think of the two Bakers, and Baker showed that he can gunsling. His shoulder is a little, still in that brace, and he's still dealing with that. But he showed that he can sling the ball. So I think of the two, Baker's more of a gunslinger, and he's got that arm strength that is really his strength. So he can showcase that. I'm going to stick with my original prediction, even though it's a little on the other side of the fence right now. I'm considering it. I'm going to go with the Browns winning. It will be a lower scoring game, I think, than Sunday. I don't think 41 points is in the cards for them this week. I mean,
Definitely.
but and then here's the thing: the defense has been great at holding their opponents to under 20 points. I mean, that's what they're doing. So the Browns defense, they step up. They're on a roll with the takeaways. I'll go ahead and say a low scoring game again for their opponents. Browns 24, Patriots 17. And we'll keep it low scoring, and the defense holding it to under 20 points again. And I'm probably completely wrong. Don't know how this is going to play out with all of these roster changes, but we're going to go with the original.
Yeah.
Like I thought.
I'm gonna say Browns 28, Patriots 16.
What you got, Cortez?
Browns 24, Patriots 10.
What you got, Bruce?
I'm gonna go with Browns 30, Patriots 20.
What you got, Bruce?
Browns 30, Patriots 20. Can you hear me?
All right. Well, I got the Browns winning 23-17.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks, Camryn, for joining the show today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate you.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Don't appreciate that you're running through my fantasy league though, like that. You're undefeated. Undefeated.
I lost last week. My first.
Oh, did you?
First one.
Oh wow!
It was a fluke. I thought I was going to go undefeated. I was like, this team is unstoppable. What's happening here?
Thanks for joining us, and we hope to have you back on soon too.
Anytime. Let me know. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Well, tune in next week. We'll be back on
can you hear
same
me?
time, same place.
Yep.
We're talking
Can you hear
about
me?
more Browns, more Cavs, more Ohio State. So tune in. We'll hit y'all with the link all this week and let y'all know who we'll have on the show. So once again, we give a shout out to everybody for listening, and thanks for the support and everybody that's watching. All right, fellas.
Peace.
Everybody have a good night.
You too. Yep.
Man.